Welcome to another edition of the Hitting the Book Show. Classes in session for Tuesday, April 28th. Ian Cameron with you. We will be joined in just a moment by C-Mac. He'll be here in just a moment to help break down the Tuesday slate. We're going to talk Stanley Cup playoffs, NBA, MLB. So we'll begin as we always do with the NHL Stanley Cup playoffs. We have 3 games on tap here for this Tuesday night. Boston taking on Buffalo. The bet I like in this game, and I mentioned this if you watched the Ice Guys show earlier, Buffalo, I think, is the better team. It would not shock me if they win this game. But my plan is I'm going to get bet Buffalo live, thinking that Boston could come out strong here. Buffalo, it's a relatively young team. I mean, other than Jason Zucker and Bo Byram and Alex Tuck, there's not a lot of players on this Sabres roster with playoff experience or experience in a spot like this, trying to eliminate an opponent in a playoff series. And the Bruins are collectively very embarrassed, very ashamed, as they should be, and pretty angry with the way they played Sunday afternoon at TD Garden against the Sabres. So I think the Bruins will have a strong start. Boston to score a first period goal is minus 120 at FanDuel. Boston first goal, first period is plus 165. I think both of those bets are worth it. If they do score first, I'll probably look to live bet Buffalo because the Sabres are certainly good enough to be able to come back and win this game even after an early deficit, which they did in game 1 of this series here in Buffalo. So that's going to be the approach for me with that game. Minnesota-Dallas, kind of like the first period over there and both teams to score in the first. I could see it slowing down. The one concern I would have with the full game over is usually when we get to games 5, 6, and 7 of these Stanley Cup playoff series, sometimes we see the scoring start to slow down, and maybe we see that here with that game tonight. And I'm going to take the value with Anaheim, plus 140 against Edmonton. I just feel with Edmonton, they've gotten worse as the series has gone on. The defense is struggling. Connor McDavid is a game-time decision, may not even play, and he's definitely playing at less than 100%. And to me, there's been no adjustment in this price. Edmonton's still laying a similar number to what they were laying in game 1 and 2, even though we've seen as this series has gone on that Anaheim's more than capable of hanging with this Oilers team and being better than them so far in this series. So I just think it's a little bit mispriced. I would have had Edmonton closer to minus 130 as a home favorite in this game. Certainly nowhere near minus 160, which we're seeing here. So at this price, I could only look to the Anaheim Ducks in this one. We got C-Mac in the house. What's up, my friend? What do you think here for the NHL tonight?
I'm going to stay off Boston, Buffalo. I think go over the 5.5 full game there. I am going to take the Ducks. I don't know if this Oilers team, we'll see if they have any fight in them. I think you can split it up first period,
I think
full
they have
game.
Fight, like the will to fight and battle and not quit and not give up. I just worry about their gas tank. They've been to the final 2 years in a row. There's multiple key players with injuries, including McDavid. I don't know if they've got enough gas in the tank.
And the last game is such a backbreaker. You know what I mean? With the goal and everything that happened, the lead that they gave up. It's just, it could be tough, but we'll see if they have any tonight. But I think still, talking about the price is in this one. This Minnesota-Dallas game, I just don't like we don't have sixes because I'd go with the under in this game.
And this is the one series that's not an elimination game tonight. So probably a little safer with the under in this game than the other 2 games because you could get those late goals in the third period. Yep.
Yeah, but we have 5.5. I don't know. And 4-2, it just is like, I don't know if I wanted that much, even though I'd lean that way. And that leads me to more of a draw. I think you can sprinkle on this game being tight between these two. Yeah.
Yeah, I think the draw is worth a sprinkle here. I agree with that. I think we could see an overtime game. We've seen already a couple overtime games in that series. All right, NBA playoffs. I don't think the Sixers are a better team with Joel Embiid on the court. It showed the last game. They got destroyed by Boston. That being said, Boston has not covered. I was stunned when I saw this. Boston has failed to cover 10 straight games. 0-10 ATS run for the Celtics after winning by double digits in their previous game in the playoffs. That is really something. They have had a consistent habit of playing down to their opponents after a win. It's like they get, fat and happy. They get satisfied. They just blew out Philadelphia. We're going to sleepwalk. We're going to lollygag. We're going to be lethargic. We're going to play down to the opponent in a game when we beat, we had a blowout win last game. They have consistently done this. Not just in game 2, they did it, where they beat Philly in game 1 convincingly, and then they lost outright in game 2. And they've done this over the years. They've failed to cover these bigger point spreads off a very big blowout win in the playoffs. I mean, 10 straight that they have failed to cover off a double-digit win in the playoffs is pretty stunning. So I did take Philly here, plus 11.5. Now, I'm not confident in it because I think the Sixers, we saw it with Embiid. I don't know if it's a good fit, but Boston's consistent performance woes in this kind of spot, I can't trust them laying double digits, even though I think they are the better team. And the other game, I like the over too. There's 2 over system plays for me here. This game over the total, Portland, San Antonio over, because double-digit home favorites. I was surprised to see this. Double-digit home favorites in a closeout game are 65% to the over the last several years. So it's been, for some reason, they've been strong over games. I think we have a chance to see that with those 2 bigger home favorites tonight in those games. New York, Atlanta is the tough game for me. I mean, New York, I think, figured some things out in game 4, but I'm not comfortable laying 6.5 with the Knicks still. At Madison Square Garden, where the last 2-3 years, ATS in the playoffs at MSG, the Knicks have had some problems. Can we get Atlanta making adjustments? Quinn Snyder, the Hawks, making adjustments, having a better game here on the road in a pivotal game 5. If you think so, I lean to taking the points with the Hawks a little bit, but not a strong opinion. C-Mac, what do you think here tonight, NBA playoffs?
Yeah, we'll see. This total super low. You're talking about this Portland Spurs game. I think if Portland can hang around, we've seen in this series, it's just early. They've just had problems. I think if you like San Antonio, it's their team total under. It's the Spurs team total under. They're just off a horrible second half. I got to give it to the Spurs defense, but they couldn't hit a shot either. I mean, that was just dreadful after being up.
Horrible fourth quarters, the last 2 games, Portland.
Yeah. Oh, bad. So, that means, like I said, Spurs team total, I think, could get there. I think the Blazers team total under. This is one where I'd be a lot better at the 104.5 kind of number than it is at 102.5. In the other game, I think the Sixers can hang around. I think they will play better. I was just thinking in this game, is it right? I mean, we're going to know right away. I think they cover first half if they're in it. You know what I mean? Because if they get blown out, then there's a possibility of a backdoor cover. And we talked about it. Boston in that last game shot the ball well. So I think Sixers do come out and play better. I like them first half. And Hawks, Knicks, I lean the Hawks. I haven't bet it, but I'm going to go to the first half under here in this game. Yeah. All these games are similar right around this total. I just think some value. None of these have really gotten there. And I don't think they will here today in a tight game where points will be valuable. So first half under 109.5.
All right, good stuff indeed. On we go now to the MLB, Major League Baseball. Big Tuesday slate. We'll begin with here we go. Tampa Bay, Cleveland. Nick Martinez, Tanner Bybee. Cleveland minus 125, home favorite, 7.5 the total. I ain't laying a price with Bybee right now. He has been awful. And this is kind of surprising that we have seen this from Tanner Bybee this year, but all his numbers are worse. He's getting hard hit contact rate has gone way up. He's not missing many bats. His ERA is up to 4.5 now on the season. And what's most concerning in that last start that he had against Houston, a little bit of a drop in the velocity for Bybee, a little bit of a concern for him going forward. So a little bit of a concern here. They've also, believe it or not, Cleveland, they haven't won a Tanner Bybee start this season. Over with him on the mound as well. Meanwhile, Nick Martinez, boy, this is surprising he's been this good. But right now, you got to tip the cap and say, well done. He's given up 2 runs or less in all 5 starts this season for the Rays. We'll see if he can keep it going. I mean, Eileen Rays and team total over for the Rays here in this game. I mean, Bybee, to me, there's some warning signs that aren't very promising. C-Mac, what do you think?
It's like what gives here with these two with Bybee. Can he have a better start? He was working on stuff. You think that's just spring training because he kind of got hit around there, and it just hasn't been great for him during the year. And Martinez has pitched well. I just hate having my money on him. When I look at these two again, it's under. It's trusting these pitchers a little bit, but the first three under. I don't like it like yesterday. Well, one thing, I think you take the Rays. What did they won? 5 straight playing good baseball on the road and a huge 9th inning. I mean, you beat down 2-0 that whole game and win the game. So it seems kind of like a Cleveland spot, but I don't want to back them. Not even at this price. So,
all right, on we go. Next up, we've got the Pittsburgh Pirates. Houston, Baltimore first. We've got Tang versus Boz on the mound here. It is Baltimore minus 135, home favorites, 9 the total. Yeah, this is my over game tonight. I think there's runs here. I really do. Boz is not someone I trust for Baltimore. He's kind of had a disappointing season. He's given up 4 runs in each of his last 2 starts. Not very good. 0-4 the Orioles in his last 4 starts. I'd probably take Houston if I trusted Tang, but Tang's a guy that's given up 4, 6, 9, 10, 12 runs in just 19 innings, which isn't great. 4.58 ERA. He's given up home runs. He's had some walk issues. That's not necessarily good at Camden Yards against Baltimore. So we'll see how it goes. But, yeah, this is a clear over spot for me. The problem is I want to bet Houston, but their starter's not that great, Tang, and their bullpen is awful. So it's kind of to me, the total is just the clear best choice in this game. What do you think, CMAC, Astros, Orioles?
Yes, it's a pass for me. Tang talked about. Yeah, he's just going to pitch a couple innings, and they have that Astro bullpen. It's got to be getting better.
Yeah.
Through the year, and I think it will. But and the Orioles at home here, I think there could be runs, but I didn't want to take the over here. It was just a pass.
All right, nothing wrong with that. On we go. Next up, Ryan Weiss is going to be the primary, and he's got a 6.5 ERA this season for the Orioles or the Astros. So, I think there's going to be runs there. All right, next up, we've got the 6:40 p.m. Eastern games. Next up, St. Louis, Pittsburgh, Leahy, Ashcraft, the matchup. Pittsburgh minus 150, home favorites, 8.5 the total. Pirates definitely should hit Leahy. Leahy does not, on paper, match up well with the Pirates. I know the Cardinals won last night, but it was definitely a better pitching matchup for them than this one is. And Braxton Ashcraft has actually been pretty solid overall. He had 1 rough start against Washington. Outside of that, he's given up 2 runs or less in every recent start. Leahy's hittable. But I don't want to lay this price with Pittsburgh. That's the problem. Minus 150. I think they have the edge. I'd prefer team total if I'm going to bet Pittsburgh here. Maybe look team total instead. Get a better price. C-Mac, what do you think? Cards, Pirates.
I know. I mean, I've kind of been saying this. That's just the big thing, I think, with me. They got to see more with this team is laying the price with the Pirates and kind of trusting. That's kind of the lone thing. They're already juicing up. It seems like they'll get some runs. Leahy, I mean, how far does he go? He's a 4 to 5 inning guy. Doesn't have great command. Walks plenty. Usually walks around 3 guys to start, it seems like, when he's in there. So, and he could get hit around, especially against lefties. So look at the couple lefties in this Pirates lineup. Props.
All right, I'll go right to you with this one because I have nothing. I passed on it. Colorado, Cincinnati, Freeland and Burns. Cincinnati minus 200, 8.5 the total. What do you like there? Nothing for me.
Nothing for you. Well, when I want the under in this game, can we trust it? I think Burns is going to pitch better. Rockies, though, the pitching's been better, and they've even been able to string some runs on the road. I mean, you go against a shitty Mets team. That's horrible. But they've been a lot better. We'll see with Freeland. The Reds have been better against lefties after the struggle really to open the year. They're starting to creep up in all the categories against lefties. So, man, under. I'd be on the first 3 under in this game, first 5. I've been looking at it all day.
Yeah, this game, that's why I passed on it. Like, I think Colorado, I'd lean, but I'd also look at it and say, okay, they've won 3 in a row at home, but it was against the hapless, pathetic, free-falling Mets. So how much can I give them credit for that? Colorado. We'll see. And
Yeah,
I like
then you go to
Burns.
Cincinnati. Oh, he
Yeah,
wants to go to Cincinnati.
and I like Burns, and since he's been good at home, but no way at this price can I lay it with Cincinnati. So it's a clear pass for me. No
Yeah,
question.
big number with him.
The under
on the
makes
bump.
sense. I mean, I know it's a ballpark where you can get runs, but I feel the pitchers could be okay here in this particular start. So I'm with you on that under lean. All right, next up we've got San Francisco and Philadelphia. Tyler Mahle for the Giants and Jesus Luzardo for the Phillies. Philadelphia minus 168 the total in this game. The situational handicapping strictly. I can't say I love Luzardo because he hasn't been pitching all that great. He actually was better last start against the Cubs. He got into the 5th inning and only gave up 1 run, but he had been smoked before that. But Mahle's nothing to write home about. He gave up 8 runs to the Reds recently. He did bounce back, shutting out the Dodgers, though, last time. That was in San Francisco, though. This guy does have a little bit of a home road split to him, Mahle, where he's not nearly as good on the road. I took Philly on the run line -1, and it's just strictly situational. First game after they fired Rob Thompson earlier today, the manager. Don Mattingly, Donnie Baseball, going to take over as the interim manager. And it's just my thought that with him, and everybody loves Don, and it's just my thought that for one night, coach bump or managerial change bump, we see it in other sports. We've seen it with Boston. They haven't lost since they fired Alex Cora, the Red Sox. They've won every game since they did that. So maybe the Phillies get a little bump from this. So I'm on Philly here -1. It's the only reason I'm on them. Like, I think Luzardo is very difficult to back, but I'm going to back Philly in this spot. Just the coaching change, the managerial change. See if it gives them a spark like it did Boston. What do you think here, C-Mac? Giants, Phillies.
Shout out to everyone in the chat in the green. Hit the like button. Brian, what up, my dude? Nick, Randall, Thomas, great to see you, dude. Nicholas Handy, Money B. Very great to see you. Shout out to all the people in the green, all the members. Appreciate you guys.
Appreciate you.
For sure.
Thank you very much, guys.
Yeah. Green. I took the Phillies just because I thought there was value after that losing streak with Wheeler the other day. It was right back to fading him the next day with Nola on the mound. I think this price is fair. I don't want to back the Phillies. I mean, I'm going to wish you luck here. Maybe they do get the bump. Mahle, he's a guy I think they could get to. You know, he has problems on the road, walking people.
Yep.
And a few of these lefties, Schwarber, Harper, could get to him. So, yeah, I just don't think this Phillies team is, very good right now. I don't want my money on them.
I get it. That's why I went -1, just to get the price cheaper.
Yeah.
Around even money.
This seems like a spot.
It does. For one night after the manager. And by the way, a good man and a good manager lost his job because it's an aging roster. I feel bad for Rob Thompson. I do. He'll be managed. He'll be around. Someone will be taking him as a bench
even if
coach.
he's not a manager. Yeah, he'll be a coach. Yeah. He's one of those baseball guys, lifer.
Yeah.
Which there's just a lot of these.
It's kind of like the Cora firing too for Rob Thompson. Like that's a good manager, a good man that got fired. It's a scapegoat for a fucking roster that's just not good enough. And in the Phillies case, it's just an old, decrepit, declining roster, and they threw the manager under the bus. That's what it is.
Yeah, and it's just he's the guy at the top, and it's just you do it this quick already in the year, and a few of these teams are like, fuck it, we'll just get rid of them early. We're not even waiting till the break with these guys.
No, you're right.
The problem is they got to pay them.
Yes.
Now they've just so much money. You got to still pay these guys as you try to hire a new one with all these, the firings and coaches, and all these.
Pay the guys they fired. In some cases, they have to spend years paying them the money that they're owed, and that's the case. Yeah, no doubt. But I think for one night we'll give the Phillies a shot here. See if they get a little spark from it. All right, next up we've got. As we continue along here, I lost my spot on the schedule. There we go. Boston, Toronto, the other team that fired a manager, Alex Cora, and they haven't lost since then. Peyton Tolley and Trey Savage making his season debut for the Jays, the kid that wowed everybody in the playoffs last year for the Blue Jays. We've got Toronto -115, home favorite, 7.5, the total. This is probably a pass for me again, unfortunately, because I'm not stepping in front of the Red Sox. No way. I mean, they've won every game since the managerial change. They're playing good. They're starting to hit. Pitching's been good. Peyton Tolley, the lefty tonight's pitched well so far this year for the Red Sox. On the flip side, I don't really want to fade the Jays. I mean, I like you, Savage. I think he's a bet-on pitcher. He was great in the playoffs last year, maybe under here in this game. You could lean in that direction, but nothing for me here. Red Sox, Jays, C-Mac.
I think I'm going to be off, too. Yesterday, Red Sox, Smart pitched great. They came through. Like we talked about, that plus price was value with them. I think you can keep rolling with it. One thing with Savage, he hasn't looked good in these minor league starts. Like,
that's
really at all.
They're desperate.
I mean,
think that's why he's up here. They're desperate because they're just so injured.
They're just
now.
Yeah, I mean, because I think he still needs to work on some stuff. I mean, he's been giving up basically 4, 4, 3, 4 every start, and that hasn't looked great. So to me, it'd be again, like if I had to, I was going to look at it again. Do I go back to it? Would be the Red Sox here. We're not getting the price like yesterday for even first 5. It was plus 120, plus 125. But I think the Red Sox get a couple runs early off them, maybe even their team total.
All right, on we go. Next up, we've got the Washington Nationals and New York Mets. Zach Littell, Clay Holmes, Mets minus 180, home favorites, 8 the total. You got to be careful here because Little's been really bad. I mean, I'm not going to try to convince you he's been any good. I mean, he's given up 8 runs in his last 2 starts. Zach Littell against San Francisco and Atlanta. I mean, he's been crushed, especially the last 2 starts. And I'm still taking Washington at this price because that's how bad the Mets are right now. Like they could actually make Zach Littell look good. This Mets lineup right now. It's a Mets lineup that scored 4 runs in 3 games against the Rockies over the weekend at home. They could make Zach Littell look good. I'm telling you right now. Don't be shocked that even though Zach Littell struggled, and by the way, as a member of the Rays 2 years ago, he gave up 1 run in 6 innings and a win against the New York Mets. Zach Littell. This is just an outrageous price on the Mets. Now, maybe not so outrageous when you look at Littell being so bad, but I'm still going to take a shot with the Nats here. I'm going to continue to dare the New York Mets to show me that they deserve to be minus 180 favorites against anybody right now. C-Mac, what do you think?
I know. You have to. Even with good old Zach here on the mound, you got to think he's going to start pitching a little bit better. This guy, that's fucking bad. I mean, I've seen it. We've seen it for a while now.
What's crazy is he's been better on the road this year than he's been at home. So maybe he does pitch better here.
Yeah. I mean, Clay Holmes has been pretty good. They can't give him any offense. So, and when is that offense going to show up? It's just, who knows? I mean, this one, the price is crazy. Yeah, give me the Nats here. First 5. I even think the plus 160. I just don't like taking it, but I think you could take their team total. I mean, it's around 1.5 first 5. It's around minus 120. You can kind of even split that. I'm thinking about doing it with the Nats, thinking they could maybe get a couple runs early.
All right, Detroit and Atlanta. We've got Casey Mize, Martin Perez on the mound. Atlanta minus 120, home favorites, 8.5 the total here in this one. You got Mize for the Tigers, who's actually pitched pretty well in his last 3 starts. We'll see if he can continue that here against Atlanta. Martin Perez, he's had a pretty strong start, especially the last 2 starts. He's pitched pretty well. That being said, Mize against the Braves, he has lost twice to them the last 2. I think it's actually considering Atlanta's red hot. This is nothing against Mize or Detroit, but Atlanta's red hot. They're 10-5 at home, 20-9 overall, and the Tigers are a terrible 5-12 on the road this year. All of that factored in, I think Atlanta's got some value here. I think they could, as a short home favorite here, minus 115, minus 120. I'm on the Braves. Lean a little bit to the over as well, but I'm on the Braves. A little smaller bet on the over. C-Mac, what do you think?
Yeah, I was thinking Perez could pitch well. So I just go back to the Braves and their team total. Mize, this guy's pretty good, but he's not great. He's kind of doing all right again.
I've seen him before. Year. When he goes on the road and he's facing a hot lineup, and Atlanta's a freaking hot lineup right now, that's when I worry about him. Yeah, Mize.
Yeah, it's just the road start here. Perez has been pretty good. We know kind of what we're going to get out of him. So, yeah, this was just the Braves. I think you look at their just take the money line or their team total. I did not want the Tigers here. Maybe Torkelson. There's a couple props on the Braves side, too.
He's a must bet for a home run prop. He's
lefty.
5 straight, Torkelson.
Yeah, he's hot off a lefty. I think it might be worth it, and his price isn't. he's not like 3 whatever with some of these hot guys. Plus
Right.
350. I think he's still up here, right around plus 500, right below. So, and the Braves,
plus 490,
these
good
props.
price. Yeah, definitely. I think
Harris
Gleyber
still
Torres
been
too
hot.
for Detroit might be actually worth a look. Even though I think Perez will pitch well, there's a couple bats there for Detroit that have had success against Perez. All right, next up, Angels and White Sox. Yoel Soriano and Davis Martin on the mound. Angels minus 130, road favorites, 7.5 the total. Lean Angels, lean under, but no bet for me here in this one. C-Mac, what do you think? Angels, White Sox.
I really didn't have anything here, too. I kind of like the White Sox in this game. And I looked at it, the under, it just wasn't the best price, obviously. And one thing is, it's just when it's so juiced, first 3 or 5, sometimes they'll stay off. Or I'll be on it. I don't want their bullpens. That's when I go through this game. I'm like, do not want the pens with these two teams. It doesn't feel like. I just think Soriano, he's been so good. Isn't he not going to get hit?
1 run in 31 innings this year.
With this lefty lineup,
yeah,
I think I might have to take a piece of the White Sox. I mean, I just wish the price was a little bit better. It's almost like telling, like, the books are saying, too, I think soon he's going to have a bad start here on the road. You know what I mean? Like, it's going to happen. And I do like these, a lot of these lefties that at least the White Sox have. So, yeah. A piece of this White Sox, first 5.
All right, Arizona and Milwaukee. Merrill Kelly, Chad Patrick. Milwaukee minus 130, home favorites, 8 the total here in this one. Merrill Kelly he's unbackable for me right now. I got to see signs of him turning it around. This has not been a good start to the year for him. 10 runs in 9.2 innings. That's not very good at all. Chad Patrick for Milwaukee. He's actually pitched quite well his last 3 starts. They're undefeated with him on the mound, the Brewers. So I think it's Brewers for me. I can only look at the Brew Crew here. Kelly's got to figure it out. Maybe a lean over 8 as well. But Brewers and over would be what I'd go with here. C-Mac, what do you think here? Zona, Milwaukee.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with Kelly. I don't know, maybe if he's hurt. One thing with Chad Patrick, I watch him with his junk. This guy just gets by.
He does.
He doesn't strike people out. And sometimes he even walks with you. It's not like he's great that way. It seems like he's like 2 walks, 2 Ks. And he still goes 5 innings. That's why I took the
over, because I think he's due to get smacked when I watch him pitch.
Yeah, I think you could put. We'll see here. He's been really good at home. He just gave up 4 in that last start against the Tigers.
Yeah,
but I think it's Brew Crew here or nothing.
All right, we continue along here. We've got the Seattle and Minnesota. Logan Gilbert, Joe Ryan on the mound. Seattle minus 125, road favorites, 7.5 the total here in this one. There's another pitcher where I'm thinking something with Joe Ryan might be up. He hasn't been nearly as sharp, and he got crushed by the New York, of all teams, the New York Mets destroyed him last game. And they haven't been hitting good for a while. They got 7 runs, 7 hits against him. He just hasn't been quite as efficient this year, Joe Ryan. Meanwhile, Logan Gilbert, been pretty consistent for the most part. 2 runs or less in 3 of his last 4 starts. He's been given the Mariners a chance to win each time. And look, Seattle's starting to swing the bats a little bit better, which is good to see. In their 4-1 run in their last 5, they've started to hit a little bit more. So this game here, total 7.5. It feels low enough. We might get over the total. One thing about Gilbert, too, is he has had some issues with certain members of this Twins lineup in the past. So maybe at 7.5 with them putting this total lower because of Joe Ryan, they look at him as an ace. Well, he hasn't exactly been pitching like an ace so far this year. So maybe we can get this thing over a low number here, 7.5. C-Mac, what do you think? Mariners, Twins.
When you see these 2 names, you think maybe not. But, yeah, both teams have had success against these guys.
Yep.
You talked about the Twins and a few of these Mariners. Julio and a few others have some pretty good numbers against Ryan. It's the whole thing, the price. I think with Seattle, I kind of lean their way, but we talked about not to back them yesterday. And to me, this would have to be flipped to look at the Mariners. Just for me, it just seems like a little bit outpriced for a team that still isn't very good on the road, 4-9.
Yep.
So, yeah, pass. Maybe it could get over. Yeah.
All right, on we go. Next up, we got the Yankees and New York Yankees, Texas Rangers, Cam Schlittler, Jake DeGrom. Yankees minus 120 road favorites, 7.5 the total. I cashed with the no, I didn't. I should say that's right. They got 4 and they didn't get another. I had the Yankees team total over 4.5. They got 4 runs early. They didn't get another run after that. So
look at the Dodgers. Yeah. These are the worst. They had 2 right off the hop. Can't give you one. A good one swing of the bat for a jack or something. Yesterday, yeah. Those always drive you nuts.
Yeah, I'm not on this game at all. I think it's 2 pretty good pitchers. DeGrom's been solid. Schlittler's been excellent, to begin the year for the most part. Maybe this stays under. I lean that way, but nothing official. No bet here for me with Yankees Rangers. C-Mac, except Bellinger might be worth a look as a home run prop. Bellinger has had success against DeGrom in the past. C-Mac, what do you think here, Yankees Rangers?
Yeah, I think Bellinger, you could still, Rice, of course. Bellinger, that's way bigger. Rice,
Stanton's
homers, plus 390.
The problem is Stanton's on the injured list, so you're not going to see him.
Yeah, I had the under yesterday, and I wanted it full game. I like the under here again. We just have 7.5 juice, so I might be back on this. I've been looking at it. I just don't, the 7.5 now, the minus 125 range, I don't really love, but I think these pitchers could pitch well. Again, even though there's some guys, solo homers don't hurt, you know what I mean? And we talked about the Rangers struggling. They didn't get anything done, yesterday either. That's why that game stayed under.
All right, good stuff. We go to the Cubs and the Padres, the West Coast action now. We've got Edward Cabrera and Buehler for the Padres. It is the Cubs minus 120 road favorites, 8.5 the total. I warned you guys yesterday why, even though it felt like a stone cold spot for the Cubs with the San Diego coming off Mexico over the weekend against Arizona, I said I still can't trust Matthew Boyd. And boy, did he show me why I didn't trust him. He was terrible to start that game against the Padres, and Padres ended up obviously coming back and beating the Cubs last night. So even with the travel spot, Padres still found a way to beat the Cubs 9-7 last night. I'm going to go back now. Tonight, I do like the Cubs here in a bounce-back spot with Cabrera on the mound, and I just think he's better right now than Buehler. Buehler's really had a tough time. I think the Cubs should be able to do damage, so I got a split bet here. Cubs money line minus 120, Cubs team total over 4.5. I think they can get to 5 runs here. I'm not liking very much of what I'm seeing out of Walker Buehler right now. C-Mac, what do you think? Cubs, Padres?
I know the book's just not giving us any favors with this game. I do think it's the Cubs, but the line's already moved their way.
Yeah,
a little bit. I like them first 5 even. I really don't trust Buehler. We'll see here at home. And people, I could see, hey, at this price, even we'll see, with this line movement, if you want to move on it. But hey, they'll just keep riding, take the Padres. They just seem to be getting it done. I know Machado went out of the game yesterday, but some of these other guys are getting it done. France had a big hit. The rest of this lineup, Sheets came in, hit a home run. Bogarts has been hitting well this year. So, but in this ballpark, it's moved up. It's just 8.5. Now, I think we could see runs again, but something just tells me, I don't know. I'm racing to overs again after what we saw yesterday in this game.
That's kind of how I feel. I think it's an over again, but after 9-7 yesterday, I'm a little hesitant. You're right.
I think maybe I might have a kind of a bet here in this game just because it's a big price. It's just get 3 off Buehler, but the team total 2.5 first 5. Maybe have something on that because it's like plus 130. It's really juiced to the under there. So I might have a piece of that. I think the Cubs could get them a little bit.
Nick brings up a good point, too. Padres used a lot of their best relievers yesterday. Adrian Moreon.
Yeah.
Adam, Mason Miller. They all pitched last night for the Padres.
And they might have to be in tonight. I mean, could Buehler have a good game here?
Exactly.
It's a big one.
Yeah, you give them length, no question. That's a big doubt. He's not at this stage of his career. He doesn't give you length very often. All right, Kansas City and the Athletics. Chris Bubich and Aaron Savali, the pitching matchup. Kansas City minus 110, minus 115 road favorites, 9.5 the total here in this one. Kansas City, man, they found their bats. And how about the Royals? 6 straight overs. Now, those were all at Kauffman, and we talked about eventually we're going to start seeing some overs at Kauffman Stadium with the fences brought in this year. Well, 6 straight home games for the Royals went over the total. Can they keep it going on the road? Well, the fences are, have been brought in from day one in this ballpark in Sacramento, Sutter Health Park. So I like over here, and I don't like either pitcher at the moment. Bubic has been, kind of up and down throughout the course of the season. He struggled in his last 2 starts, 8 runs and 10.2 innings. I'm not a Savali guy. I never have been a Savali guy. He's given up 8 runs in his last 10 innings. That's not very good. We know that the ball flies out of this little bandbox here in Sacramento. So at 9.5, I like the over here. Royals and A's. C-Mac, what do you think?
Yeah, the A's. I want the A's. They've struggled versus lefties, but can they have more of their righties in here? Brooker is back. I believe he played his last game, right?
I think so. Yeah, which does help.
Have a little bit more. And this is a way we don't have lineups yet, right, in this game?
Not yet.
It wasn't earlier. Yeah, we don't have it yet.
No.
So it's a wait for me. I mean, I could see, there could be some runs, but I want the A's. I think at this price. It's just a wait for me. Their lineup is out. Here we go. It's a lot of righties. Yeah. Kurtz is in, of course, and that's about it. McNeil's hitting last, the lefty. Okay.
Yeah, and I like it. Both teams are trending over. 7-3 for the A's, 8-2 for the Royals in their last 10 games to the over. Don't trust either pitcher. I think the lineups are well constructed because for Savali, he's not great against the righties. There's 5 righty bats in there for the Royals, it looks like tonight. And then on the flip side, Bubic against righties, he's got some issues, and Oakland's got a ton of, or the A's, I should say, have a ton of them in their lineup. So it's probably a good matchup for these 2 lineups tonight. So
Perez, maybe gets going. I think Bobby Witt's going to get going a little bit here, too.
That's another home run prop, by the way. Sal Perez.
Yeah, I was looking at
damage on Savali.
Sal Perez.
So,
yeah. He's got a couple jacks.
Yeah, that's a home run prop at plus 375. Yeah, that's definitely worth betting here tonight. All right, last game. I'll just throw it to you. I don't have a lot on it. Marlins and Dodgers. Jansen Junk, Shohei Ohtani. Probably under, I'd lean. Minus 270 home favorites, 7.5 the total. And the one thing we'll say about Jansen Junk for the Marlins, he's been serviceable. I don't want to say he's been great, but he's been able to get by. He's given up. He didn't give up a run in his last start against St. Louis. I do worry a little bit on the road about him because he did give up 5 runs in his last road start against the Tigers. That's a little bit of a worry for me, but we'll see. Lean under, but no bet here. C-Mac, last game. What do you think here? Marlins, Dodgers.
Yeah, Ohtani, been really, really good on the mound. And I think it's better that, I don't know if it fucking matters with him. He's like an alien, but not having him hit. I just think if you're pitching, you know what I mean? He doesn't need to worry about it.
I think it's made him a better pitcher that he's not hitting on the day that he's starting.
I just think, what's the big deal? I don't know if it has to be every start, but for the most part, come on, Dodgers, you got all these guys, all this money you got to spend. Focus on the pitching for the day with Ohtani. I think, the second road start, I know it got us yesterday. Junk, another guy that can just he's wiggled out of some stuff. I'm going to go back to it. The team total, they got 2 and nothing for me, and of course came back in the 9th to win it. It's plus money, plus 105. Dodgers team total over 2.5. This is his second road start. He's going to struggle, I think, with this Dodgers lineup. It struggles against lefties, so look to Muncy. I know Tucker got the game when he hasn't been really doing anything, but even look to him. That's what I'm going to look to in this game. Props.
Good stuff. Jack of the day, before we get to best bets, I already mentioned a couple. Sal Perez, Kansas City, plus 375. I already mentioned Torkelson for Detroit, plus 490. Bellinger, Yankees, plus 550. Here's a couple red-hot home run hitters. Samuel Basallo for Baltimore. He's hit 2 in back-to-back games, plus 550. And J.J. Weatherholt. This is a young rookie for the Cardinals. Boy, has he been heating up. He's gone yard in back-to-back games, and you can get plus 850 for J.J. Weatherholt with St. Louis.
The leadoff hitter?
Yeah.
Weatherholt? Okay.
He had one last night. He had a big blast against Pittsburgh. I think that put him in the lead. No, tied the game in the ninth. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, we talked about it. Tucker, I think, is a good price. Muncy is just always his home run props a little bit lower in the 350 range. We talked about Bellinger and Rice there. Some of these Rays we mentioned I didn't get to earlier look good here. You know, have some good numbers. And I think it's showing Caminero. You could look there. Aranda is just 1 for 3 with a homer. Diaz 3 for 10 with a homer. So maybe look to them in that Rays game.
All right, best bets to wrap up the show. Shout out to Thomas Corbett, Nick Alvento, Jorge Herrera, Mark A., Ken Peacock, Brian Flynn, Brian Elfring, Nicholas Handy, Money B. Green, and everyone that's joined us in the YouTube chat, and all the members. Shout out to the YouTube members, and a reminder to become a member because we're on only for the members tomorrow on Wednesday at 5 p.m. Eastern, as well as Friday at 5 p.m. Eastern, members-only shows. So make sure you get on board as a Hitting the Books YouTube channel member if you haven't already. All right, let's wrap it up with best bets. C-Mac, what do you got?
Let's have down to these two. I was going to go back to it, the Dodgers, you know, because I think they get theirs. But I'm going to go with this. It's minus 120. I think this is one of the better unders on the board. I got to go back to it. Yankees, Rangers, under 7.5. I want it full game in this one. I don't mind these two bullpens. Under 7.5. Yanks, Rangers.
All right, good stuff. My best bet, I'm going back to my bread and butter total tonight for MLB best bet. We're going to that Houston, Baltimore, over 9 with the Astros and the Orioles. They're both in good form. I don't love the bullpens for either, and I don't love the starters for either side. Boz hasn't been great, and you're going to see a combination of Tang and then, of course, Weiss for the Astros, who haven't been great. So good offenses, good form. Astros, Orioles, over 9, minus 110. We'll go with that for my best bet. Shout out to everyone in the chat at the like button. We appreciate it very much. And looking forward to tomorrow, members only. Make sure you join us, become a member of the channel if you haven't already. That's a wrap for Connor Mack. I'm Ian Cameron. Have a great Tuesday night. Enjoy the games and good luck. And we'll see you tomorrow on Wednesday, 5 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Pacific for a members only edition of the Hitting the Books show. Until then, class dismissed.
Peace.